You can go to any garden lighting manufacturer and you can open up their catalogue or go on their website and you will see dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of light fittings. In our experience over that 10-year period between Greenlight doing installing and Nitelux actually being created, we sort of narrowed down the essential key lights that you wanted. And that was 3 or 4 spike spotlights, 3 or 4 uplights, some more powerful floodlights, some step lighting, and some more bespoke path lighting. So our range is probably only about 30 lights, but it's a range that will be able to be used throughout any garden. Where it breaks down, the other big disadvantage you had going back, all our LEDs, by the way, are inbuilt into the actual light fitting, so you don't change the lamp. You have to change the fitting if anything happens to the fitting. We give a 3-year warranty on the fitting, and as we become older in company age, we'll actually increase that warranty as well. We found that when we was using retrofit lamps, which is a lamp that actually fits into a light fitting and then you screw the top of the lamp back on, we was replacing something like 200 or 300 lamps a year. And these lamps were probably only 2 or 3 months old. We weren't getting them back under warranty from the manufacturer because they didn't want to know. And the client quite rightly said, look, these lights have only been in sort of 3 months and we've got lamps blowing. This was just indicative of LED lamps when we moved from the diachroic lamps that we used to have. Now the disadvantage there is, what you find guys were doing, if you had a nice Acer that was 1 metre tall, he would fit a spike spot on that tree with a 5-watt LED lamp in it. If you then come up against, say, a silver birch tree that's 30, 40 feet high, because the biggest lamp you could get at that time was 5 or 6 watts, the same lamp would be fitting it in the same light to light a tree that's probably 10 times the size. So the reason we have the variables in wattage is so that you can vary the wattage to the actual size of tree or feature that you're actually lighting. The other thing that we have to take into account is that if you've got a garden that's very, very dark, i.e. in woodland, all the lighting that you use will be a lot lower than, for example, if you're doing a garden in London where you're competing against light pollution and street lamps. So we found that the variant of 2 watt, 4 watt, 9 watt and 25 watt was ideal. We then come across large trees, and at the time there was no 12 volt light fitting that you could buy that went up to 50, 55 watts. So we then developed our 2 range of floodlights. One is to go into the grass and one is to fit into a planting bed. And these were to light bigger trees. Because a lot of our work was with actually landscape contractors, they were building in things like seating, steps, pathways. So we then brought out a range of step lights. Now again, you can go to a garden lighting company and find 20 different types of step lights. We narrowed it down to 3 or 4, and those 3 or 4 step lights will quite often fit exactly what you need.